What is up, guys? James here from the Light of Riga YouTube channel, and in this video I'm going to be doing a review and a flip through of Llewellyn's Modern Spellcaster's Tarot. This is a very popular deck from Llewellyn, and there's a lot of reviews on this, but I wanted to, incorporate my own spin, throw my name into the hat, and show you guys this beautiful deck and share my views and opinions and thoughts and feelings about it with you guys today. I think very highly of this deck. This is a beautiful deck. It takes, and it has an old-timey feel, like you've been transported back into time, but it's got a definite modern spin to it. While the images are mostly of olden days, I couldn't even pinpoint the time that this is. It creates its own universe is basically what it does, why it's so cool. And it's got elements of modern times, but definitely a throwback to days of yore. That's when it's set. It's set in the days of yore. So it comes in this very sturdy box. I love boxes like these. You can, if you're gonna move, your deck's gonna be safe. You could use it to transport. I mean, I worried about the edges, but it's very sturdy cardboard, and it's got that beautiful magnet system. It's got a little magnet in here, so it kind of. Did you hear that? I don't know if you can hear that. It latches. It's cool. I like it, and so it comes with a book. This is a very, very sturdy book. I don't know how many pages. Quite a few. Not that the page count matters. 242. It's all about the content of it. So let's look at this book first. We'll set this aside for the moment. This book is very informative. Of course, it goes through. Oh, I should say this deck is by Melanie Marquis and it's illustrated by Scott Murphy. There we go. And it's a very informative book. And it goes through all of it teaches you a little bit about tarot, but it also explains itself because this deck is pretty unique. This deck is for divination, it's for tarot, but it's also for spell casting. And the unique part about this deck is that if you want to use this deck for spell casting, there's definite instructions on how to do that. Look how much, we haven't even got into the review of the cards here. Using tarot for magic. So if you were a magical person, then this is the deck for you. Not only does, let's skip ahead here, not only does it tell you the description of the card, it has a black and white picture, but it tells you the description of the card, and then it tells you the divinatory meanings of the images in the card. It tells you how to read it in reversal, and then it tells you the magical uses. So I'll just read the Tower card, for instance. This card can be used to represent a failed plan, an accident, chaos, danger, disaster, or severe depression. Covered with a protective card such as the Ace of Pentacles and combined with logical and careful action, such misfortune might be prevented or its results lessened. Keep intention positive when using this card. So basically it tells you how to use this card, how to incorporate it into a magical practice. Now, I'm not a magical practitioner, so to speak, but I could definitely see the value of this. And it continues into the minors. For instance, the Ten of Cups, its magical uses is used to help bring success and to manifest dreams and wishes coming true. Also used for spells to encourage unity, intimacy, peace, and harmony, or to help restore intimacy, compassion, mutual goals, and understanding to a relationship. So that's just showing you what the Ten of Cups is capable of doing when used in a magical practice. I really, really enjoy this book. It's got a few spreads. It's kind of light on the spread. Let me see what kind of spreads it's got. Of course, it's got the Celtic Cross, and it's got one card draws. There's a lover's spread, and it teaches you to create your own spread. So a very nice book. It's a new spin on tarot. Maybe not new, but it's a definite refreshing spin on tarot, sharing the magical properties of the deck and of each card. So let's take a look at the deck now. Let's flip through it, and we'll look at these cards individually so that you can get a sense of what you get with this deck. We'll look at the backs first. And you can see that it's a lovely blue color. And I've got an insect on my table. Shoo, shoo, shoo. I don't know what he's doing here. He wants to play. So I've used this deck pretty heavily. I've been using this deck for well over a year now. It's got some rough around the edges. You can kind of see what happens with casual wear. I haven't taken this too many places. It stays with me in my home. But yeah, there's a little bit of wear, but that's all right. You can see the backs have a squirrel, a sort of bird, a fish, and a horse that correspond to the cardinal. I like it. It's pretty cool. The card stock is typical Llewellyn. It's not too flimsy, yet not too stiff. And I gotta say, as far as shuffling goes, this is my favorite deck to shuffle. I'll shuffle in the end. So let's take a look at the cards individually, shall we? Alright, I'm going to go kind of fast. If you want to see any cards individually, if you want to slow it down, you can pause the video and take a look at it. But we're going to go through first the Major Arcana one by one. We start off with the Fool card, and the first thing you're going to notice about this deck is that it is extremely colorful. The colors are just... Let me get a focus there. The colors are fantastic. That's what initially drew me to this deck. But that's not what kept me. What kept me was the content. You're going to notice a lot of symbolism in these cards. The symbolism is everywhere to experience and to see. And you could spend hours, days, weeks, months, years getting to know this deck and just immersing yourself in all the symbolism. It's very difficult to take it all in at once, which is great because you want a deck to stay with you, to keep you engaged, and to always be bringing new things to the table. Even though you've used a deck for years and years and years, I feel like you're gonna continue to find symbolism in this deck where you hadn't seen it before. And not to mention that, look at the symbolism here. We've got a snake, we got a frog swimming out to a bonfire in the middle of a lake in the strength card. Like, what does that mean? This I don't know. This card, this deck is going to take quite a bit of study, but it's not prohibitive. If you can read Rider-Waite-Smith, then you can read this deck, with some small exceptions, which I will get into in a moment when we get into it. But the majors are beautiful. I love that they're all hand drawn. A lot of artists today are depending on computer generated imagery. It doesn't seem like there's too much of that going on in this deck. It seems like this deck is all just hand drawn with love, basically, is the feeling I'm getting from this deck. So look at the death card, just absolutely gorgeous. Look at the colors. That sunset just pops on the temperance card, right? So you don't usually expect the sunset to be the main focus, or not even the focus, but to draw your attention on the temperance card. But it's just this deck is very unique. One thing I don't like is the tower card has got little arrows. I'm not sure why the lightning bolts have arrows. That kind of takes you away from the immersion. But you get the feeling that the idea that this is like old worldly feeling, but yet modern at the same time. Right? It's got that old worldly feel, yet it's been updated for our modern times. Look at the sun card. Look at the vibrancy here. It just feels like you're in a beautiful sunny location. The judgment card is a little perplexing, but again, that's just something that you have to study to understand. And we've got the world card. Another beautiful thing about this deck, maybe one of my favorite things about this deck, although there are many things that I do love about it, is the diversity in the people. So many times you'll get these tarot decks that are all white people, right? Or they're all women, or they're all, I don't know if there's too many decks that are all men, but in this deck, we have run the gamut. We have people of all walks of life, men, women, all different colors and shapes and sizes, and I think it's a beautiful thing. I think that's why, it really resonates with the modern aspect of things. In these modern times, people of all walks of life are coming together to live and to interact, and I think it's kind of... it's very, I hate to say racist, but I think it's kind of, having a narrow viewpoint of the world. If you're just going to include just one type of race or one type of gender into a deck of tarot cards are supposed to represent life as a whole. And I think there's something in this deck for everyone to resonate with. Look at that Page of Wands. It's beautiful. He's loving nature. He's listening to the birds. He's ready to go out and explore. I really love this deck a lot. I do want to talk about the downsides of it. To me, there's really only one downside to this deck, and I'll talk about that when we get to the Suit of Swords, and it'll make more sense when we get there. Now we're moving into the cups. Now we're gonna have some more bluer cards, right? The cups are representative of emotion, or representative of water, and there's a water scene in a lot of these images. There's obviously cups in a lot of these images, but overall this suit has got more of a dreamlike watery feel. A lot more bluer colors and things like that. Look at that Six of Cups. They're playing on the beach. Oh wow, the old people watch them. It's cool. So a lot more bluer images here. Look at the Eight of Cups. Not traditional, but like I said, if you know Rider-Waite-Smith, you're going to be able to pick up this deck and interpret it, and it's going to be a lifelong study, I think, to understand like all these images here. There's just images everywhere for you to kind of interpret, which really helps your intuition, I find. I really like to, using my intuition, I like to talk to the people. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Oh, that's another thing. The knights are all riding animals, huge animals. Maybe the knights got shrunken down, or maybe the animals got enlarged. But I love that they're riding animals. Anyway, my intuition works where I like to talk to the people in the cards, and I'll have a conversation with them and see what they're trying to tell me. And so these cards are great because these people all feel real. And they feel like I can have a conversation with them. 3 of Swords. Look at the heart there. Anyway, my only gripe with this deck is that it does follow the traditional pagan or Wicca tradition or philosophy in tarot, where the swords are fire and the wands are air. Now, in my upbringing, that is the opposite. I'm used to swords being air and wands being fire. So, to be honest with you guys, I love this imagery. I just adore this deck, but it sat on my shelf for quite a long time because I bought this deck not knowing that. And I opened it up and I figured out that wands were air, and that just threw me off big time. I couldn't wrap my head around it, and it was very difficult for me. So what I did is I set the intention that I would read this deck with the wands being fire, the way that I like. And I set that intention. And ever since I did that, I have found this deck to be just phenomenal. It has worked with me, even though there's some, a lot of sword imagery here has fire in it. It still makes sense as air. And setting that intention has really helped me to get over that hump that I experienced with this deck. And now I just have connected with it in a way that is so phenomenal. One of my most favorite decks as far as imagery goes. Look at the greens in the pentacle suit. Oh, the greens. Look at this guy protecting his loot from this squirrel. There's a lot of nature here. A lot of nature. You're going to find a lot of animals in this deck, especially in the suit of pentacles. A lot of green. And, you can really, I don't know, when I see like predominant colors in suits, that really... it makes me happy because I like to maybe almost like color coding the thing, right? You see green, that means pentacle. And I like that. I like that a lot. I like how she's looking at this squirrel forlornly. I've read the 9 of Pentacles in many different ways because of that card. There's a little bit of moroseness to her, even though she's got it all, or almost all, right? And as we get to the end here of the deck, we've got the Knight of Pentacles. She's riding a squirrel into battle. Isn't that cool? I like it a lot. And so yes, I wholeheartedly recommend this deck to anyone who is a reader of tarot. It is a beautiful deck. Before we go, I'll just show you how it shuffles. Like I said, it's my favorite deck to shuffle. A lot of people complain about the Llewellyn cardstock, but as far as I'm a rifle shuffler, so so smooth, so sophisticated. I actually really enjoy the Llewellyn cardstock. A lot of people will knock it, but it shuffles like this. It returns back to its original. It's very hard to bend. It returns back to its original form, even though you're rifle shuffling or riffle. I don't know what it's called. Whatever it's called. Oh, it just sounds so good. It smells good too out of the box. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but I love this deck a lot. And I wholeheartedly recommend it to everybody. It's very popular for a reason. It's going to provide you with years of study. Yet at the same time, you're going to be able to pick it up and read it right away. It's just that little issue of swords being fire that threw me off a little bit. But it might not, even... Maybe you're used to that. I don't know. Maybe you can wrap your head around it. I know I can't. So this is a wholehearted recommendation from James here at Light of Riga. So if you do feel like getting this deck, you can find it anywhere. It's very popular. Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Most of your metaphysical stores will carry this deck. It came out recently in 2016, and it is phenomenal. A plus, A plus. All right. So that is the Modern Spellcasters Tarot. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please leave a like if you did. Lets me know that this video helped you out in some way. If you want to talk about the Modern Spellcasters in any way, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or anything you want to say about this video, put those in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And please consider subscribing to my channel. All sorts of tarot readings, bi-monthly, weekly tarot readings, deck reviews, all sorts of things. You don't want to miss out on that. So hit that subscribe button. And if you want a reading from me, then head on over to my Etsy shop. The link is in the description below, and I can give a reading to you. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Go check out the Modern Spellcasters Tarot if you get a chance. Alright, leave a like if you enjoyed this. Happy taroting. Peace.